Oh, what's this? Looks like a pile of detritus. Let's put it together and destroy, destroy. Ah! Time for Wakeangel 2001's Construx retrospective.
Hey everybody, Wakeangel2K1 back with the next video in the Construx retrospective. And today we say goodbye to our little tank with the barely functional geared turret. It kind of works. You just, like, to get it to turn all the way around, you gotta go through a lot of stuff. So yeah, we're gonna take apart one of the smallest builds that the set had to offer to make the largest build that the set has to offer, which is of course this really awesome gigantic tank mech bot. Because yes, it does have tank treads. I'm thinking there might have been some inspiration from Gundam. I don't remember the model number, but there is a mobile suit that had gigantic tank treads for a lower body. So yes, that is the theme. So let's get to making it.
Okay, here are some pictures of the tank mech, which is what I'm going to call it here because that's fast and simple. It is tall, but also quite spindly. Funny thing, I accidentally forgot to start my timer at the right moment, so I don't know exactly how long this took. But based on what was playing on Netflix in the background, I think it was just shy of an hour. So it is one of the longer build times. But yeah, like it wasn't quite as super complicated as I thought it was going to be. So that is this particular giant robot. Let's go back to live action footage.
Okay, so when I said that this was the biggest thing I built, the set could make, that was by certain metrics. Because, like, in terms of physical size, it's certainly tall. I mean, here it is on my, it's sitting on my lap and still, like, for want of a better term, shoulders up, it's still visible on camera. But it is physically smaller than the spaceship. So it's not like the biggest, but it is quite large and it's also fairly complicated. So the head is geared, turning a crankshaft on the back makes the head rotate. That's kind of nifty. Although the upper body is connected by a single swivel thing, which is all well and good. It gives it a waist joint of a kind, but it's also kind of wobbly. And if there was something that they could have improvised to make a ratchet for the arm, because like it has articulated arms, like they can move up and down like this, but they kind of hang limply. Like if there was something that, if they had something that was ratchety, so that there could be something that holds it in certain poses, that would have been pretty cool. It also has articulated fingers in either hand, and the wrists rotate. So, you know, it's a posable, articulated mech thing, even if the head wants to spin backwards. He has big old, he has like treads that rotate and 2 extra wheels. Oh boy. It might just be a little bit too big for its own good. Yeah. Like, certain parts of the connections, like, it kind of has a cool look going about for it, but it's definitely a little bit overly ambitious. It's a bit spindly. I would have tried to find better ways to reinforce it. Like, maybe it doesn't need a waist swivel if that means that its torso wouldn't be so wibbly wobbly. You know, that kind of stuff. But, you know, it is a pretty awesome looking mech. Whoop. Aside from the fact that it has way too much mass that's connected on connections that are way too weak. Down here it has like a secondary cockpit window. It's like you can think of there being a second pilot down here in the cockpit that like runs the tank treads, while the pilot up in the head controls the arms and maybe the weapons. Got like a little hatch, access hatch. Gotta love those. Yeah, it's a big old mech. It's a big old mech. And I remember as a kid, I considered it too floppy to actually play with. And my assessment as a kid was not wrong. It is big and impressive looking, but it is also rather floppy. So, kind of cool. Set it up in a display and don't touch it, and it'll look pretty badass. Maybe find something to brace an arm in a raised position. But aside from that, it's just a fairly impressive looking, but not very playable little thing. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the other great building ideas that this page offers. We got a rocket, another one. We got some kind of, oh, you know what this is? This is like a cargo hauler. Yeah, it's like a cargo hauler with a crane, and it's one of the constructions that actually uses the box. Then there's also a giant robot arm. That looks really complicated. Like, you actually move gears to move the arm. Like, it would take quite a while for me to figure out how to make that. Then there's the saxophone. The set gives you instructions on how to make a guitar, but yeah, if you're creative enough, you can figure out how to make a saxophone too. Some kind of spotlight, which is really unimpressive when you compare it to the saxophone and the robot arm. And one of the coolest things I've ever seen. That is an awesome mech. I remember back in the 90s, it really reminded me of something out of Exo Squad. Exo Squad being a cartoon about, giant robot mechs that was awesome. And you know what? After I finish everything, I'm gonna make that. I will make it. Like, even if I get no requests, I'm still gonna make that because it looks awesome. Alright, but there is one more thing in the instructions catalog, and as a grand finale, the people decided that it would be the final construction that would actually make use of the box itself as part of the play pattern. That being the rocket launch pad, complete with a crawler and everything. So, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, integrating the box, the lid of the suitcase is covered with attachment points that the Construx sets are designed to connect to. Let me see if I can find the remaining. Yeah. Yes, I'm talking about these. As you can see, they're designed to go right on there. So you can theoretically use the suitcase itself as a base and build stuff on top of it. So that's what the final construction is going to be making use of. So we'll see you tomorrow for the last of the Construx retrospective. Well, the last Construx retrospective that actually uses something from the instruction manual. So, this is Wakeangel2K1 signing off.